Hello YouTube, this is Washable Platypi here, coming at you with a video that I haven't, that I've been meaning to post. I haven't posted a video in like 4 months. I just figured I'd give you guys an update on myself and my account. So pretty much the past like season 4, uh, I didn't really play RTA all that much. I played enough to like be close to Legend, but not enough to like feel like I actually gave myself a legitimate shot. So we didn't make Legend Season 4. Season 5 is here. I'm currently right now in Emperor. Pretty decent win rate, I would say. 60% win rate. Haven't played too many matches yet, but we're just kind of chilling. We'll see if I actually want to make the push, but regardless, here's just a quick update. I do still play the game. I do still, I say enjoy it, but I play the game. I log in, do my dailies, farm a little bit. But yeah, so let's go ahead and just look at the units that I have built. So I built Pavel. I've been rolling some pretty decent speed gear, I would say. So Pavel has been like one of my favorite units to both draft and use both in not only RTA but Arena as well. Actually, let me go back. I did some Arena this season. I finished Legend 5. I was like ranked 31, so finished top 100 once all the season calculations come in. So we'll get that frame. But yeah, Pavel has been like one of the best tools for Arena offense. Now, obviously, this is all going to change when Belian comes out, or Bellion, or whatever the fuck her name is, honestly. But now, still, Pavel's really good. I can also show you a really cool draft. I don't personally have it built, but it's pretty interesting, actually. So I would recommend, if you have the gear, maybe give it a try. It's pretty fun. I went back to Speed RB instead of Degen RB. Honestly, this was for... One, I wanted 800k CP World Boss, which I got. And then two... I needed to farm adventure better. So I built this RB. I use him for Arena, but he's not that great in RTA, I would say. So the 7 effectiveness is key, right? You need that for the CP boost. Okay, to be fair though, I can't gem it off this chest even if I wanted to, and this chest piece is pretty good, right? Like, I can't gem the effectiveness off, and this is already, like, pretty nice, I would say. So, Kisei, I still use Kisei quite a bit, actually. I really enjoy Kisei plus Amelia, and we'll get to my Amelia later. But Kisei is still really good at dealing with Carrot. Can just straight up one-shot some squish units as well. So as long as they don't have like a speed contest or aren't playing like Cidd, Angel of Light is one that would be I would consider like a speed contest. Technically Amelia can be faster, but most Amelias hover around the 250 range, I would say. So but Luna's still very good. Now Carrot has fallen off a bit, so I would say her usage has gone down, but you can still use her as like a speed DPS option in a single target draft. Also, Genocide just plus 15 to piece. Let's see what he plus 15. It's kind of copium. Ram, Expos don't really use. Luna. So I actually, this is live on stream, and right before recording this, I was doing some RTA. I've drafted Luna probably 50% of my matches. Luna is absolutely insane right now when paired with Amelia, even without Amelia, right? Luna is, I would say, one of the stronger ice DPS options. She's really good at dealing with like a Fire Charlotte right off the bat. Her skill 3 with pen set, with Merciless Glutton. In addition to her pen already, I think it's 50%, yeah. She deals just so much damage. You get the extra turn. If it's Holy Sack, you can then immediately soul burn the skill 1 to kill her again. So really solid. With the buffs to Merciless Glutton as well, you also get Sasha Thane's procs, essentially. So Luna with this artifact buff, with her buffs, Really solid unit. I highly recommend you guys build one. I know all these players from day one, right, will have their plus 15 Lunas from Wyvern, just chilling, sitting on the bench. If you haven't built her already, highly recommend building her. This is just Wyvern. DPS Berseria. I feel like this is the build for most Berserias now. You can put Guiding Light on her if you want. I prefer the extra hit chance for stuff like Green Violet and Remnant Violet. But more importantly, I use this in arena offense. So an arena offense that I used quite a bit towards the end of the season was Light Angelica, Flan, Berseria, and Politis. Pretty strong team, I would say. It allows you to hit the Violet teams. And as long as you outspeed, you generally just kill everything. Super strong. You give the crit chance buff, the attack buff to her. Very good. Operator Secret. My ops is not as good as I would like her to be. I don't really use her that often though. But into first pick FCC, you can pick Operator Secret plus like General Purgus for the attack buff, Operator Secret plus Amelia for the attack buff. Both work, and it allows you to kill like, let's say the Rem or like a maid, for instance, right? So now some maids are going to be faster than 242. I would say in the higher tiers of Emperor and even in Legend, you will see like those 250 plus maids. So I would like to get more speed on her, and then I would also like to increase her damage. I would personally like around 300 crit damage, 250 speed, and 3.8, 3.9k attack. That would be the goal for me. But right now, I just don't have the extra gear for her, so. Vivian, I don't remember why this is geared or what it's geared for, but here's Vivian. I think it's for Banshee or A13. One of those two. Strays. Strays was an arena offense unit. You can use it in RT as well, though. I really like Azure Comet on him. With the extra push, you can pick him with Luna and Amelia, right? And if you boost the Luna and kill something with Luna, you get not only the Merciless Glutton, you also get the Azure Comet push. You get to kill two things, and then Strays will clean up like their Carmen or their Crow, right? So overall, like, this build has been working pretty decently for me. I still need to get 3 more imprints on him though, so he'll be around the 4k attack mark. So Lulika's Expos. Politis was like an absolute staple for both arena offense and arena defense, I think. And not only that, she's still really strong in RTA, into stuff like Maid, into stuff like Amelia, into stuff like why can't I think of it? Light Angelica as well. So Politis, super solid unit. Really enjoy using her, obviously. She has some okay gear. I would like to make her gear a little bit better, but she worked pretty well for what I needed. T-Surin, I don't think I've drafted T-Surin at all, like this past season. With stuff like Fire Charlotte, stuff like Landy, just a lot of AoE, right? There's a lot of AoE right now. T-Surin feels really bad. So this unit, she has gear. She can be drafted, but I would say a majority of the time I am not going to be picking this unit. Green Vildred, I only use this Green Vildred in Arena, so and his stats aren't even that good. I would say you would want like 400 more attack, 20 more speed, and 20 more crit damage if you wanted an actually like solid build of Green Vildred, but this one did the job just fine. I would bring him in when I needed to speed contest like a Cerise with my Politis Flan team. So Landy. So Landy is probably my most picked DPS. I prioed a lot of bulk on her. Now I know a lot of people have opted for the counter set Landy. I do not have the counter gear on my account to necessarily support that, so I opted for just a very bulky speed set Landy. She has worked wonders. The damage hasn't ever felt like it's been too little, and really, like, as long as she can survive 1 or 2 hits, and then cycle back around with like Amelia healing, or let's see, you have like a maid passive. She is just like, I would say she is still the best like DPS in terms of just raw tank busting and damage output. So any new players watching this, Landy is coming out in 2 weeks. Please, please, please pull at least one copy of this unit. She can function without Guiding Light, so if you don't have Guiding Light, that is fine. You can use stuff like Bloodstone. If you really wanted to, you can run Symbol on her and just run a really high damage. But Landy as a unit is a must-have for any like PvP roster. Even in PvE, she can be used. I know in certain Abyss floors, I had a friend say that they use like their Landy in Abyss. You can use her in Hell Raid. Just a super, super, super solid unit. Don't skip this, or don't skip Landy. And if I had to choose between Luna or Landy, I would say Landy is probably better. So between those two limiteds, if you had to choose between one or the other, I would say get Landy over Luna. Spectre Tenebria. This is kind of the norm now. Lifesteal Stene. I feel like my defense is a little bit low. I feel like my speed is a little bit low. I'm pretty content with her damage. Her HP is also at a spot that I'm pretty happy with. So, but I don't farm Banshee that much. I might farm Banshee this Tuesday for hump buffs. We'll see. I think I'm just gonna farm Wyvern though, or maybe even KDs because I do need some more pen sets. So, but this is, I would say, the standard now with Belian coming out. Maybe we swap artifacts. I was thinking about trolling with Abyssal Crown. I thought that would be really funny, but I would say most of the time, Book is still going to be best in slot on her, even with Blind, because you can't guarantee that Blind's going to be in every draft. So, Cidd. So I feel like a lot of people have swaps to a build similar to this. It's pen crit immunity. Now my speed is a little bit low. My attack is a little bit low. I would prefer more attack. And this is not something that I plan on I-90ing. This ring is missing like 2 rolls. So, that being said, Cidd, essential if you're wanting to cleave, I would say, in most cases in Arena. So, if you recalled her, I guess pull another one, but Cidd, still the best like Soulburn skill 1 damage when it comes to like just one-shotting a unit. So if you want to cleave, even in a Belian meta, like you'll probably need a Cidd. She just functions as how do I explain it, right? Like she's just like that piece that you need in almost every draft when playing cleave, I would say. Cleave feels really bad when you don't have Cidd to either CR push or one shot like their mate or their Ruel or their Crow or their FCC, or just a unit that you don't want on the board. So Remnant Violet. This unit sucks. And by sucks I mean he always just gets hit and dies. So I don't actually play this unit very often. The only time you can really play him is in a draft where he's relatively safe, and it doesn't matter if he gets hit a few times. But a majority of the time he is going to get hit. You're going to maul, you're going to want to break your keyboard, break your desk, and you're going to lose because he doesn't dodge. And that's just kind of like how this unit works. Sometimes he 1v4s, and other times he just sits there and does nothing. So, there's kind of that warning label when you use this unit. But I have gear on him, but I don't really draft him all that much. He doesn't really fit how I've been drafting. So he's just there in case I need him. But Assassin Cidd, so I would say Cidd is essential to have at 300 plus speed if you were wanting to push high RTA. You need what we would consider a force ban against cleavers, right? You need to be able to steal first turn. Now, with speed imprints and stuff like that, a lot of cleavers can push past this 302 mark, but you still have to like have this unit available, I would say. Because if you don't, and you don't have a lot of anti-cleave options, you're just going to get run over. Now, with Blind coming out, things might change, but who knows? Cleave might incorporate it into Cleave as well. But yeah, Cidd is pretty important, I would say. Charles is Banshee. Assyria, this is for Expo. Build Gunther, trust me, not MLM. Yo, thank you for the follow. That's a very interesting Twitch name. Green Violet. Now, this is a casino unit as well. He has, what, a 55% chance to dodge most of the time, so. But into blue units, specifically Rem, Fairy Tale Tenebria, SSB, he shines. This unit is incredibly strong. So, still, like, I would say a must-have in terms of RTA. If your opponent starts stacking blue units, Violet is just OP. OP. I opted for pen set over immunity. Some people will die by having immunity on him so he doesn't get crown stunned. I prefer the extra damage from pen set, so that's just how I have mine built. It's also a force ban, right? If they have a bunch of blue units and you pick Violet, you can force ban out the Violet and then hope that your 4 beat their 4, essentially. Karen, this is just for Wyvern. Ravi, now, Ravi has really fallen out of the meta, and that's because of Rem. Well, not just Rem, right? Rem, now Luna, Carrot. There's other Fire DPS that are just better. Fire Charlotte, for instance, is just a better unit in terms of having that reach for Landy, having that reach for Stene. So Fire Ravi has really fallen down the ladder in terms of viability. I still have Gear on mine. The Gear is not the worst. It's just, she's just too hard to use right now. Holiday Euphine. So, this unit is one of, I would say, the best answers to Fairy Tale Tenebria if you don't have FCC. And if you have Guide to a Decision, this essentially gives her an FCC barrier and allows you to not only protect yourself from the F10 debuffs, but then cleanse your team afterwards. I would say this build has worked more so as an anti-cleave for myself. So when they pick units like Pavel, having Holiday Euphine is pretty good at allowing me to push ahead and then survive, essentially. Maybe not survive. Survive's not the right word, but Pavel skill 3s. If you ban like the Cidd or something, then he skill 3 something else, and then you push with Euphine, as long as you cut. But he will always miss the Euphine on his initial skill 2. So pretty good into anti-cleave as well, and also gives you some reach towards units like Stene and Landy. So there's also that as an option. Carrot. This unit has been a menace for some time now. I would say recently she's not been as popular because of units like Rem, because of units like Luna, but she still remains one of, I would say, the best options if you need a unit that could potentially just 1v4. I would prefer mine to be a little bit faster with a little bit more attack, but overall, I would say Carrot has kind of fallen down on the ladder boards in pick priority. An important thing about Carrot, though, is she is a book holder, so if you do like playing Pavel, and you don't want to run Etika Scepter, you can just run book. And she can also be a facilitator for your Pavel, giving him the ability to soul brood, so there's always that option. LQC. So this is an LQC build that I'm kind of testing. It's the pen crit set immunity on Hellcutter. I would say she has been working pretty decently. I've picked her a few times. However, I would like her to have a little bit more bulk. I also need to finish mulling her skill 1. But a lot of people have opted for like the slow speed set with like high attack for the LQC bomb, or like a destruction set with high crit damage, high attack on Hellcutter, very bulky. So she gets a really high value like skill 3 off to pop like the enemy team. I'm trying this build out. So far it's been working, but we'll see how it goes. APOC Ravi. So this unit is actually terrorism incarnate in some drafts. She is such a strong pick right now. And I don't think my build is correct. I think you want speed set personally. But my counter set rolled better than my speed set for her. So we're going with counter set. And APOC Ravi right now is not only a really good anti-cleave unit, she's really good into the bruisers like Rem, I would say, really good into the bruisers like Fire Charlotte. Her skill 3 can stack up to an extra 75% damage, which is absolutely insane. Her skill 3 actually just nukes someone if she has an attack buff, and 3 units have died. She also now has Red Ravi passive where she gains CR when she's hit. So, very strong unit. Do not sleep on this unit. The only gripe and the only, I would say, downside is Stene and Landy are still very popular right now. So sometimes it will be hard to get to them in time before they just kill your A-Ravi. So there's that. Lilius. I don't draft this unit. I don't think she's in a really good spot right now, so she just has gear. But I don't draft her. Same goes for Designer Lilibet. I think this unit sucks. She really needs something else outside of what she has. Maybe give like immunity after she skill 3s, but she seems incredibly weak after she presses skill 3. And a lot of the times you can manipulate when she skill 3s. And at that point, like, it's already too late and the enemy team has already suffered from their debuffs. So a lot of the times, right, into stuff like F10, if your Dilibet is the slowest on your team and the rest of your units are faster, and there's like this kind of gap, right, where your opponent's units aren't taking turns, you actually just suffer so much because she cleanses after your units have already gone, and then the rest of their units go, and then you die. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't think this unit is very strong right now. With Light Angie being in the meta, maybe she sees some more play, but I would say for the most part, it's just too hard to draft her right now. She's too inconsistent. And a lot of RTA is just about consistency and having a very consistent draft. So I would much rather even have a unit like Mediator Queric over Designer a little bit. So GP, this unit actually fell down in terms of like prio for me. He used to be one of like the most picked units in RTA, and right now it feels like no one's really picking him. We're kind of in this double Soul Weaver meta, so GP doesn't feel that impactful. There's a lot of other options for attack buff now too. You could consider Fire Mercedes, Elena. DN is still played to an extent. Made Chloe. He's just I don't know. He doesn't feel as impactful as before. So he still is geared. I still will draft him occasionally when the time is right, but I would say Jonah Purkis has kind of fallen down the prio ladder for me. Also, sorry if it sounds like I'm losing my voice. I've been sick the past few days, so I might actually be losing my voice. Rem. This unit is also just a casino unit, but a very strong casino unit. No, not COVID. What the heck? A lot of people, and I would say 90% of the players have opted to run very bulky, base speed, with crit damage, a immediate amount of crit damage and some attack, around the 3,500 range for attack. On Sigurd Scythe, and essentially you bring this into a lot of AoE. She has a built-in Elbrus that procs like an AoE attack, and then her demon mode buff is just bonkers. It allows her to ignore Efrez, and she can't be debuffed. Very annoying unit. If you don't kill her and she starts proccing Sigurds, you kind of just lose. You get soloed by this unit. So now with Pavel being a unit, she wasn't as good. I think now that Pavel's kind of phasing out, Rem becomes stronger. We also see still Fire Charlotte. We still see like Fire Mercedes is a unit that people have been picking. Carrot still is a unit that people are picking. Excuse me. So she still is very strong into those units. So I think she is maybe not a must-have, but she gives your draft a lot of flexibility. Yeah. Cerise. I do not draft Cerise. This is for Dark Expo only. Yeah. All my speed gear got allocated elsewhere, so. A Tywin. He's kind of making a comeback. He wasn't as relevant season 4, but there's a lot of debuffs again, and a lot of people have opted to drop their res to around the 100 mark, so effectiveness, A Tywin is actually pretty viable again, I would say. But yeah, he's just still Soulburn skill 3, right? Start the A Tywin engine, and that can sometimes just win you the game. I think one of the bigger reasons as to why he's not as popular is because LRK has kind of fallen down in popularity as well. So with less AoE immunity options, not a lot of cleanse options, A Tywin is kind of back, especially with the effectiveness build. Champion Zerato, I don't really pick this unit all that much. He's geared, but not that well. He's just good into debuffs, so. This is for Banshee. This is... I don't really use Dark Corvus. I sinned and I used him in in Guild Wars the other day. Instead of cleaving. So I felt kind of guilty about that, but... Yeah, I used him not once, but twice. I know, dude. I'm a sinner, but... Fighter Maya. I would say Fighter Maya doesn't really do much anymore. I still have mine geared though, because this gear really doesn't fit on anyone else, so she just sits there. Sage Ball. I don't know if any of you guys have been to my streams before. You know how much I hate this unit. This unit is disgusting and gross. I detest this unit. So I built him. And I would say I use him maybe once in every 30 matches. He is an okay anti-cleave option, but I feel like he's kind of fallen off. He's still very annoying to deal with, though, so... yeah, he's just there for me right now. Light Angelica. Very annoying unit. Very, very annoying unit. Punishes AoE, has a silence unbuffable, and a 2-buff strip. Can hold book. This unit, if you haven't already run into her, you will run into her eventually. I will say, there have been a lot of drafts where she doesn't feel that impactful, but I also drafted a lot of single target when my opponent had her, so there's that. But more importantly, she is very annoying on arena defense. So if you have a Light Angelica, this is the build that I want. I also use her on arena offense as a strip essentially for Flan and a book holder. So pretty good. This is only for expos. Flurry doesn't feel good to draft right now, so I only use this in dark expos. T Crozet. T Crozet is good. He's one of the better knight options, I would say, if FCC and Crow are banned. I would say T Crozet followed by Carmen are probably your next best options for knights. I use the Cleanse EE and 40% combat readiness. Not the cleanse, sorry, the 40% combat readiness. He cleanses already with skill 3. But Trozet, very strong. I don't use him that much, though. I would say I use him more as a backup pick if the other knights are taken away. So, pretty good into anti-cleave as an anti-cleave unit as well. You can draft him plus, like, let's say a Rem, and you just protect the Rem and make sure Rem doesn't die. So, FCC. FCC is, in my opinion, the strongest first pick in the game right now. She gives you protection from Fairy Tale Tenebria. She offers a lot of mitigation, but more importantly, she has a 100% provoke chance on her skill 1. And a lot of people have opted for like this 100 effectiveness build. Why isn't she play? I don't know, dude. She hasn't been plus 15 since I got her, and I got her on her first banner. Yo, don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I truly think she is the strongest first pick right now. I really like high effectiveness. Again, a lot of people have opted for around the 100 res mark on their units like Amelia and Crow. So that allows you to get some pretty important provokes off. Yo, relax, chat. Relax. Basar, I really don't draft this unit all that much, but he exists. I opted for Crown because I don't have an extra book. Sometimes you can pick him, and he's pretty annoying, so... Crow. I would say the second best knight option currently is Blue Crow. He offers defense buff. He could 1-for-1 pretty much any unit in the game. And, yeah, he's just... he's a ticking time bomb most of the time. Now, like I was mentioning earlier, I opted to drop to the 100 res to give him more HP and more defense. It gives you a better stat spread, I would say. I could go for more res. I might actually increase his res, drop his HP a bit. There was a res ring that I had that would fit. And it was this one. So I was considering doing something like this, but I felt like my defense and my HP were a little bit too low, at least for my liking. So oh, there we go. Dizzy, I don't use Dizzy. I just have gear on her, but she's not really used all that much. There's a lot of things that punish AoE, so Dizzy just feels really bad. Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale Tenebria. Still extremely oppressive. I would like more effectiveness on mine. I would like more speed and a tad bit more bulk, but overall she's been working just fine. If you draft FCC first, she's a very strong 4-5 pick as a force span in most cases. So, Fairy Tale, still OP. Team Luluka I don't use anymore. She's actually stripped. Blood Moon Haste. Blood Moon Haste, still very strong. He is coming in the coin shop, I believe, in the next coin shop rotation. I didn't watch the stream, so he is okay. Yeah. So, if you guys have troubles with Arbiter Vildred and or Maid Chloe, please invest in picking up Blood Moon Haste with your Moonlight coins if you have 40. Of course, not everyone will have an extra 40 coins laying around, but oh yeah, Fire Mercedes as well. But please, this unit is very, very strong. Now he's not as strong as I would say Season 2. So Season 2, you would like pick him just straight up first pick sometimes. However, he is still very, very relevant and very, very good. Emoken. I was testing this ER Emoken build, but mine is a little low damage. My Sigurd's is +3, so there's that as well. But I don't use this unit. I still think Emoken is not very good. So LRK is still pretty strong, I would say, but he has fallen off a bit because of Landy, and I would say more importantly because of people running lifesteal on their Stene. So after you get the first skill 3 off, if you're not killing the Stene and the Stene lives, she just lifesteals in the turns that follow, and he doesn't actually offer that much outside of that. His immunity is nice, and with Emil Tywin being a strong pick again, or potentially a strong pick again, he may see more play, but currently for myself, I don't see myself drafting LRK that often. So we can skip Baiken. She is purely for Banshee. Ruel. Ruel is still pretty strong, I would say. She got the new RTA skin. Our new RTA skin looks pretty good. But if you draft like Ruel Maid, it becomes very, very annoying. Like Ruel Maid plus a damage mitigation and then like 2 DPS. Pretty strong draft. Tamarin, this is PvE, this is PvE, and this is kind of an MLM. But I'll still draft him on occasion just to have some fun. But he's more of an MLM unit, but you can bring him into Cleave if you really feel like you're wanting to test some players and their mental. But yeah. Charlotte. Fire Charlotte is, I would say, probably the best fire DPS right now. Yo, chill. I don't have Molas, Sturby. I don't have Molas. I do need to max her skill 3 and her passive, but her skill 1 is maxed. But yeah, Fire Charlotte. I think Symbol of Unity is probably the best in slot artifact on her. Holy Sack next best, but I have been enjoying Fire Charlotte quite a bit. She gives you that reach for Stene, she gives you that reach for Landy, and on lifesteal she heals back a lot of HP. So I did fix my weapon. I rolled this. This one turned out pretty decent, Sturby, I would say. But yeah, Fire Charlotte, top tier. If you have Fire Charlotte, build her. She also has free CR push now with her EE, so very good. Crimson Armin. If there's no FCC, there's no Crow, I think Crimson Armin is then the next best option after that. So having a CR Armin built is pretty good. I opted for some ER. I wanted her to go last out of all my units to like give me the most value out of the invincibility. So yeah, Crimson Armin. I mean, it's pretty normal, pretty basic. Rowana, I would say Rowana is like not seen that much. You really don't. She doesn't feel like she offers too much, and then on top of that, she's not a Soul Weaver that you can draft aggressively. She's very reactive, right? So if you're playing like the reactive draft and you're picking Rowana and you're trying to go like 1-for-1 on a ban, let's say with SSB, and then they pick 4 other units that you don't want to really deal with, and let's say you then ban the SSB and they leave in Rowana, she doesn't really offer much to the team. So I don't think she's that good right now, personally. I also don't see a whole lot of SSB anymore, so maybe that's just where the matches that I've played, but I haven't seen a whole lot of SSB. Maybe there is some, though, that I'm just not noticing. But this is Expo. Dian's gear got stolen for Amelia. Sorry, I couldn't think. But Dian is still okay. She gives a lot with attack buff. The reason why she's, I would say, not as good right now is because of Landy. She gives free stacks to enemy Landy if they have it, so if you like seeing Landy rip skill 3 like 3 or 4 times in a row, you can pick Dian early, but I feel like she's only picked in the later stages when you have Landy on your team, and then when you need an attack buff if like the maid and or Amelia are gone. So otherwise, I don't think she's super strong. That's why I gave her gear away, but she can still be used. So maid Chloe, very good. After her buffs, she became pretty insane. She's been strong for season and a half now, right? So that's actually been so long since I last posted a video and showed all these things. So many things have changed. So, but as you guys probably already know, made one of the best Soul Weavers in the game right now. I would say second best Soul Weaver in the game. She has some copium gears, I would say. I would like to make her 10 speed faster, if possible. So that is my goal. But overall, still very strong. Sinji, this is just for Wyvern. This is... I don't even use Ross. But you can use Ross on Wyvern, and I was farming Wyvern with Ross, so... Acades. I use this in Guild Wars sometimes when I'm wanting to turn my brain off, but very rarely do I do anything but cleave in Guild Wars. You can use her in RTA, actually. If you are familiar with the name Call 8x7, he uses Acades pretty religiously. And she's pretty strong in his drafts, so if you aren't a necessarily fast player, check out his content. He does RTA, and his units are very unique in their builds, but they work very well in cohesion with each other. So Amelia, so this is the best Soul Weaver in the game. She is Alots on crack. And man, she is just broken. She has so many people slept on this unit, myself included, during the initial release. I didn't know how impactful she was going to be until I built her, and then once I built her, my life was changed. Like this unit is very, very good. But yeah, I built her high speed, again, the 100 res mark, and I wanted bulk, so she has a pretty decent bulk. And I use her a lot with Landy. You can boost the Landy, you can boost Stene. She's really good with cycling Fire Charlotte and keeping buffs on Fire Charlotte. Really, really good. I wouldn't say she's first pick worthy, because in the current meta, if you first pick her, you're kind of opening yourself up to get cleaved. Which is why I think FCC is still just a tad bit stronger. But Amelia, again, one of my most used Soul Weavers. If I get the chance, if, like, let's say the opponent first picks like a Crow and FCC's banned, Amelia then is my first pick in that first rotation. So if you haven't built her yet, go ahead and build this unit. Very good. You can use Rod, you can use Tome. I prefer Rod for the healing. Other people prefer Tome for the cycling. Since I draft Landy so frequently with her, she actually cycles fast enough with speed buff. Because speed buff is 25%, I believe. So, like, we can just calc this. Like, with speed buff at 264... Wait, is it 20% or is it 25? Let me check. It's 30? Oh. What the heck? I was wrong. Okay, so I thought it was 25. I guess it's 30. So 30% of 264 is 79. So she gains an extra 79 speed with Landy's speed buff, putting her at a whopping 343 speed. So I prefer just the raw healing with Rod, since she's spamming her skills so much anyways. It also allows you to not have to soul burn her skill 2 to give healing when you're like Oxlot pushing someone. But yeah, Landy's also must pull. like I said earlier, Landy plus Amelia, very good. Now Amelia's banner did just happen, so she probably won't be coming back for another year or so, unfortunately. And then the last unit that I use is Flan. She was actually faster, but I redistributed some of her speakers. She used to be 280, 284, I believe. But I nerfed her gear, so unfortunately, but very strong. There's a very strong draft too with Flan and Pavel, and it actually doesn't require you to have a book. So it's with Luna. So you can Flan skill 2, boost Luna to kill something. With Unseen Observer, you get 10 souls here. You kill something with Luna, you get another 10 souls. And then you can skill 1 and then Soulburn Pavel. So very, very strong. Leaking. I've seen a lot of people draft this Nest Derby. I wouldn't say it's leaking. Is Luna worth it? Yes, Luna's very worth it. I use Luna quite a bit. But yeah, just a fun little thing that you can do. You do have to have a lot of speed gear though, so if you're slow, it won't work. Hate to break it to you. But yeah. Anyways, guys, it's kind of just an update. Hopefully I will be making more videos at some point. Probably, if I'm being honest with you guys, probably not. Why is my camera out of focus? But yeah, just wanted to give you guys an update. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the updates to my account. We'll be uploading this probably tomorrow, I would say. So check out the YouTube then. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I would super appreciate that. Maybe we do post more videos in the future. But yeah. Anyways, guys, have a great rest of your days wherever you are. Hopefully you enjoyed the videos, and see you guys on the next one.